Dribbles, you need to have a really good balance and feel like you've got your skates really underneath you, and you need to be able to do a really good toe-toe manual. Let's do it. Dribbles are great for a small space, and there's a little bonus move in this one because I need to show you how to do a slide first. So the dribble requires you to move 1 foot forward and 1 foot backwards. Center, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. This is the very basics. To do this, what I'm doing is I'm tensing my thighs so my feet don't go too far. So you've got to keep tension here. Pull them together, release, but keep tension so they don't go too far. Pull together, release. This is quite a nice one because sometimes when I'm doing this, I like to put a little bit of flair in it because it's a move on its own. So I'll do a kick out and get a little whoop. Once you feel really secure doing this, so don't forget your bent knees, it's really, really important. You can put your arms out for some balance. So once you've got that, what you need to think of doing now is when you put this foot back, is you need to go onto the toe, like that. So you can just practice that bit. Sliding 1 foot back and lifting the heel. This is where your toe-toe manual comes in, because straight away you'll know how far forward you can go. If you've got toe stops, it might be a good idea just to wind them in a bit if you can. So I'm going back and going onto the toe. Together, back and onto the toe. All my weight is on this foot, so we're going to call this one that's lifting at the moment the free leg. So all my weight's going to transfer to here, and then I'm going to slide back. Transfer all my weight to here and slide back. Okay, next bit is what you need to do is when you lift that is actually bring it to the front and put it down. So let's try that. Feet together, back, front, and put it down. So now we're sliding the foot forward. The weight is on here. This foot's not got very much weight on it at all, not much weight on it at all, but once it goes flat, we're swapping the weight to here, so this foot can now slide back, come forwards, and now I transfer my weight to this one. And now I can lift this again. So it all makes sense. So forwards, down, transfer, lift, forwards, transfer. I'm talking a lot about weight transfer, and when you're first learning, it's absolutely fine to put all the weight on one and all the weight on the other. But when you want to get this trick a little bit faster, because that's when it starts to look really good, when you get this momentum and it's faster, you need to put some weight on the foot that's on the front truck, because that pushing of that one will stop the rolling back of the other foot, so the momentum of each foot will counteract each other and you should stay in one place. So this foot is going to push down into the floor. So if you think of this as a stagger, 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 you have to keep the stagger stance, otherwise you're going to fall down. What you're doing, this foot is pushing forward and this one is pulling back. So push down into the ground and I'm back in a stagger. Lift, back in a stagger. When you're in a stagger, your weight is quite equally distributed. So think of the same thing for this, because you can't fully transfer the weight like we were doing if you want to do it quickly, because there's not time to transfer the weight. So you need to keep it equal. The final stage of this, which gives it a bit of style, is adding the hips. It's basically a walking hip. So if you stand in place and think about your hips, so I'm pulling my hips forward. So it's like I'm walking, and it gives you a wiggle. Once you've got your basic dribble, there are a couple of ways that we can level up. So I feel we may have oversold this a touch. What we're going to do now is during the dribble, we're going to turn. There are two options with the turn on the dribble. So the one that's easiest is when the foot's in front. So you've got your weight spread between the two, and then you need to put slightly more weight on the front one so this one can pivot underneath you. And you bring this forwards. So let me show you it at speed. So I'm dribbling, and then my foot comes to the front, I turn like that. The other option is to turn when the foot is up at the back. Now this is where your toe-toe manuals are really going to help you, because we're going to lift onto the toe-toe, turn and go back down. So what's happening is the foot that was up is now down and the foot that was down is now up. That makes sense? Okay, so what I'm doing is here, this is up, I'm going to turn and this is up. So the foot at the back is still the foot that's up, even though I've swapped feet, like that. I hope you've had lots of fun with this one. Try not to get too frustrated, it is really difficult. Now right about now, I normally say, I'm Katie and you've been watching Skatie, and I skate off, but seeing it's an in-place one, cameraman's gonna go instead. I'm just gonna say something and see what you think. Something. Okay. Yes. So we're sliding one foot back and lifting the toe. No? No, I know what I'm trying to say. So the momentum, that's when like a cow can't stop. The momentum. The momentum. It's the new word. Okay. Foot that's on the front. Don't want the nose hair like last week. Okay. You need to be able to be very... So what I'm... I can't do it without sewing. Pivot, down, down. No, that was wrong. So I can't help it. It's part of my vocabulary. Sew is like, it's my go-to.